Hello, hello everyone. Well, as Tom has said, incredible welcomeness here at Fluence DePIN Day in Bangkok. Amazing food, amazing audience, amazing conversations all the way through. So from my side, super happy to welcome you here. Super happy to welcome you from Titan network ecosystem, about which I'll be talking today. And the talk of mine is focusing on the role of people in the DePIN future. When we talk about DePIN, I think we always talk about like infrastructure or solutions or technical architecture, but we always forget about who owns that infrastructure, how that is made available, and how do we ensure that those people who have that infrastructure are happy, satisfied, and benefit from the technology around the globe. So first of all, before going to the actual statistics and why it is important and how we're turning that into something very, very useful with Titan network, let me give a quick temperature check for this audience. So for the number of devices, that I think is a very, very striking data that helps you to realize how much potential do we have. So in this audience today, how many of you do have more than 2 devices at your home available today? That includes your PC, your phones, your everything that could be connected to the network. Who has more than 4? More than 6? I still have hands. More than 8? Okay, well, we have more than 8 devices with few people across the room. The world tells us that today across the globe, we have on average at least 3.7 devices per person in 2023. We have outliers like North America with more than 12 devices per person, and I think that partially comes from the development of IoT solutions and availability of the technology around the globe. But the reality tells us we have at least 3.7 devices per person all around the globe. So let's round that to 4. Even with 4 devices across the globe for every person, we have at maximum like 12 hours of daily usage. Whenever you sit on your phone, then you switch to your computer, then you work for work, then you go home, then you do something else on other screen, etc., etc., etc. Well, realistically, you can pull in maybe 12 hours a day in one specific device, and no one can really work in parallel on multiple devices at once. So what we look at around the globe, we have 87.5% of idle devices all across the globe. So we literally utilize only 12.5%, and that's with a very, very modest estimation that there are 4 devices per person, and we're utilizing them throughout the day. What the reality tells us, there are billions of devices that sit idle across the globe for more than 21 hours a day. Imagine if you had an opportunity, if you have a small way to leverage all of that devices, that will by itself be the most powerful and biggest DePIN network by itself. Imagine the potential of people-powered network. Imagine how much resources we have already built, produced, purchased, and aggregated around the globe that sits idle, that sits unused. And all of that potential is right now just being wasted. So imagine there's an opportunity to leverage that resources. Well, Titan network is exactly doing that. Titan network leverages idle devices for the decentralized future. At the core of Titan network, we're building a DePIN layer 1 on top of Cosmos SDK that enables community all across the globe to bridge their idle devices. By that I mean, you can connect any type of device to the Titan network. You can connect your Raspberry Pi, your mobile phone, your PC, your data center, anything that you have at your disposal. You can connect to the Titan network and share idle resources from there, including storage, bandwidth, and compute. By that, we enable people to unlock the global idle edge for the end customers. Once the resources are being aggregated to the Titan network, we then allow people to rent out those resources in the people-powered cloud infrastructure. So we essentially aggregate the resources, provide them as containerized infrastructure, and anyone across the globe could rent those idle devices otherwise and get the use out of the vast amount of infrastructure that's already deployed at people level hand. Well, why is it great and why we should focus that more? In Titan network, we saw a great opportunity compared to traditional DePIN infrastructure. We have to solve multiple problems with Titan network. Obviously, orchestrating a very, very large network is not easy, and obviously connecting many and millions of devices to the network, that have to coordinate and produce correct output is also a very challenging engineering task. So at Titan Network, we focused on 3 core problems to make sure that our network is seamless and usable as much as possible. First of all, we made sure that it is that simply to contribute. In order to bring resources to the Titan network, it literally needs only 2 clicks. So if you have an Android device today, you can go on the website, download Titan network application, and click one single button, start earning. And then the node will be running on your device. So by reducing the barrier to participate, we deal with the largest DePIN problem of guarding the walls and barriers to enter for the community around the globe. Once we have solved the easy to contribute part, and today you can contribute from any type of resource, any type of device. Secondly, we made sure that it's very simple to build on. In order to rent the resources from Titan Network, you have a containerized applications that you can deploy on every network node available all around the globe today. So the simplicity to build on is also a core goal of Titan Network. As soon as you are able to rent out the resources that we accumulated, you are creating benefit for your own project, you are creating the benefit for the community from whom you are renting the resources, and you are ensuring that you are building on top of decentralized infrastructure that otherwise sits idle. Last but not least, we are also ensuring that it's seamless to scale, so that whenever you connect to one device, it's very, very simple for us to onboard you to the journey with DePIN infrastructure. And while we provide this containerized architecture, it's very simple to deploy it on as many devices as your client or as your application or as your community needs. So that's where we find our core use cases and our core solutions available to the Titan network already today. So first of all, we promote Titan Network as our data availability layer. Today, we have more than 314,000 registered nodes in more than 100 countries across the globe. And when we are talking about DePIN infrastructure that is decentralized, that's the true way how things should be decentralized. We cover almost 130 countries all across the globe right now. So making sure that there are nodes available across the whole globe and they are ready to serve you content similar to CDN, storage, or even general cloud workloads, makes that very, very interesting and makes that ready out of the box for whichever application that you may have to deploy on the network. We'll really focus on the data availability layer as making sure that you can go to the Titan network and rent the resources that you otherwise would rent from traditional cloud infrastructure such as AWS or Google Cloud, and you will not need to face any barriers to enter or problems that you would see with many existing DePIN solutions where you only have one resource available. Speaking more about multiple resources available in one single place at Titan Network, we're ultimately positioning Titan Network as one-stop shop for DePIN infrastructure. Today, we have already seen a great success in specialized resource layers, such as Filecoin for storage could be a very easy one. There are multiple applications that build on top of specialized resources, and we have compute resources such as Lilypad, Glacier. We have amazing Fluence who are building serverless compute available to everyone around the globe. So all of that creates a very unique and very powerful networks that can do specialized tasks. What Titan Network does to complement that infrastructure, we essentially build the generalized layer on the bottom, making sure that you have available all 3 types of resources at once. You can deploy your app in full when you connect to the network, and once you have connected to the network, then we enable you to benefit from all the other DePIN projects that are building on top of us and that we're collaborating with. So whenever you're, for example, deploying solution to the Titan network, you can connect to Filecoin storage and benefit from their vast amount of cold storage resources available, making sure that it's a seamless integration and you are staying within the Titan network ecosystem so that for you as a customer or someone who builds an application, you don't need to solve all the hurdles of deploying and using multiple solutions at once. You can just go to Titan Network and rent all of those resources with one same bucket and benefit from the cloud decentralization of today. Well, if that's not the only place where it should be, where we are building for the final customers and for the final users, we also make sure that time for DePIN is to reach people where they are. We, as day-to-day users, do not even need to know that my solution is powered by DePIN. For example, Titan Network is already being deployed on solutions like Telegram apps or even translator solution. We have an amazing project building on top of Titan Network today called peanuts.ai that provides you a real-time translation to multiple languages. You can, right now, if there are audience speaking Chinese here, they can go to peanuts.ai and translate my current talk in real time and get the benefit of decentralized technology in nodes around Thailand today to get the access to the fast and seamless translation in the real time while benefiting from a DePIN technology around the globe. Building these apps and deploying those apps on the edge brings us the competitiveness compared to traditional cloud infrastructure solutions, and we're making sure that the seamless experience for the user is something that you can get from Titan Network out of the box. With all of that, our goal for the Titan Network is empowering people and protecting the planet. The reason why I'm pointing here that we are protecting the planet while using Titan Network is because we are focusing on edge devices that have already been produced, deployed, and made available around the globe. So we already have spent all the resources that are needed to produce those hardware. So why not to empower people to utilize those resources for the 100% potential? That's what we at Titan Network is focusing on. And that's where we see a great vision and great potential for the infrastructure, for DePIN projects, and for the future of decentralized technology in general. With that, I invite you to become part of the decentralized future. Join our amazing partners and investors to be part of Titan Network and make sure that you have all the resources and technology available and contributed at a day-to-day basis. I want to make sure that all of you have an opportunity to leverage your resources to the 100% potential. With that, thank you a lot. You've been an amazing audience. I'm happy to provide you some questions and answers as we go through.
Thank you, Konstantin. Do we have any questions before we move on to Vadim? Oh, we have one question.
1 second. Let's make sure.
Yeah, like compared to AWS, for example, where you could easily go and spin up a new server, how easy it is to do it on your networks?
Yeah, that's a very great question. We essentially replicated Cloudflare infrastructure so that deploying on Titan Network is exactly similar as you would rent a container from AWS and put your content there. So we're ensuring that the pipeline is seamless. You get an access to the containerized application on top of Titan Network. You put your content there, you put your application there, and it works straight out of the box. So you don't need to create a sophisticated solution that works specifically for Titan Network. You can migrate or merge it directly from your traditional cloud. You can work with it in parallel, for example, keeping your core architecture inside the traditional service providers in cloud, and then use Titan for the benefits of being as close to the user as possible, deploying on the edge devices where the user needs your content, and making sure that all of that is seamlessly integrated into one workflow that works in traditional cloud building.
Great. Do we have another question? All right. Everyone understands everything about Titan Network, it appears.
Wonderful. Then thank you a lot for that. That was a great pleasure to speak to you today. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Konstantin.